Okay, I want to do a quick early June garden tour. I have my little pond right next to the porch. So everything's kind of struggling with disease this year because of all the rain, but we've gotten some really good productivity. This chard I think is so freaking beautiful. Lots of cherry tomatoes. They all have spider mites. The squash bug has decimated the patty pan squash, but we did get a lot off of them. Volunteer basil is really starting to come up. These are all volunteers. We didn't buy any basil this year, or we did, but it died immediately. These are volunteers from last year. The peppers are doing okay. The jalapenos are doing well as always. The shishitos, well, now that I'm looking at them, they're starting to pick up actually. I have quite a few peppers on there. Sweet 100 cherry tomato will be part of my garden forever. I absolutely love it. It's so productive. It's so healthy and delicious. More tired zinnias. They still look pretty-ish. They're starting to look raggedy. The strawberries are doing good. Look at that. That is beautiful. The asparagus is looking amazing. Interplanted with a shit ton of okra. It's really hard to stay on top of these pods. They get woody so fast. And look at these beans. These just excite me. These pretty purple flowers. And very productive. The lemon and lime tree are surviving. Doing okay. Didn't get any lemons again off that one, but maybe next year. Not very exciting over here right now, but there are some dwarf palmettos that I stole from a construction site. It'll be interesting to see what these look like next year. They grow really slow. Beautyberry and columbine. The beautyberry has taken it took a long time to leaf out after the winter, but once it did, I mean, it's, seems to be growing a lot. I think that those will be really pretty next year. The compost has a giant freaking pumpkin growing out of it. The mountain laurel, that's probably like, what, 2.5, no, maybe like 3 feet tall right now, so we'll see. Everything's growing well. The trees, the peach tree's gotten huge, and the plum tree, the orange tree back there's kind of limping along, but giant sunflowers in the back. These golf muleys, I don't know. They kind of look like shit. Of course, Blackfoot daisy is just leaping. It always dies in the middle. I don't know if it's the cats or if I need to Chelsea chop it next year or what. Black-eyed Susans are looking cute as always. I do really like that purple yellow color combo. Bamboo muley, it's just doing okay. It's not really, I thought it would grow a lot faster. It's really quite short right now. The Turk's cap, those two new ones, I would expect to be small, but again, this pink one I planted last fall, and it's not grown very much, and the new growth looks kind of weird, but it has bloomed a little bit. This I was just looking at this morning, my sweet olive. It's never gonna grow, but it's tiny. And the inland sea oats I expect to get to fill out a lot. The ferns, these ferns I'm happy with. I think, they looked rough for quite a while. I mean, we planted them early spring. And I think they just do that. They look like shit for a while, and then now I think they're past the worst of it. They've gotten a lot of rain, and I think they're going to colonize there really well. These I just repotted that. It's looking a lot happier. The wisteria, native wisteria, bloomed this year. And, it does smell a little bit like cat piss. but it's really pretty. Okay, now we're gonna do a front yard garden tour. So I'll start here with by the door. Pride of Barbados. I dug this original bush up. It's a huge root ball. And it came back from a seed. They throw seeds everywhere. And I just let it go. The coneflowers doing really good. I'm waiting for these to go to seed. I do want to deadhead them, but I also want the seeds. These purple skullcaps are just plagued by these freaking flea beetles. The worms just ate the whole plant this spring, and they bounced back a little bit. They're flowering, but the lavender is blooming. I did not anticipate these to do well, but they're doing good. They were slow growing at first. The wine cups are looking a little tired now, but they did amazing. They just outperformed my expectations this year. I have them paired with more four nerve daisies. I think the purple and yellow looks really nice together. The yarrow also outperformed my expectations. I think it looks really cute with the mailbox. I think it's really pretty. It's fairly tidy. I will probably deadhead these. I do kind of want to let them go to seed. I wouldn't mind them spreading around. I just love the variation on the white, the different stages of flowering. I think it's super cool. These Blackfoot daisies, I think they'll do better out here than they do in the backyard. But these are new. I just planted them pretty late in the season, so they're very small, but I think they'll look really good outlining the trellis whenever they get bigger. Which, speaking of the trellis, coral honeysuckle, also vastly outperforming my expectations. This thing I planted in the fall, and I mean, it has just taken over this trellis. Didn't flower much this spring, but it was growing like crazy, and now it is flowering, and I bet we'll get a really good flower flush in the fall and definitely next spring. I just think this plant is beautiful. I love the pink stems. Woolly stomata, also doing really well. I planted these really late in the season. I just wanted something to fill in kind of in front of the fence, and I think they're gonna fill in really nicely. Mistflower, it's kind of doing exactly what I wanted, which was to sort of like reach outside of the fence, barely. It is doing that. We got a really good flush of flowers in this early spring, and then I did cut them back. They were looking really raggedy from all the rain, I think. So I Chelsea chopped them, and they respond really well to Chelsea chopping. I'll definitely do that next year too. Mexican sunflower, I'm really excited for this to bloom. I love this plant. It's so fuzzy and like soft, like a bunny or like a kitten. I planted a bunch of cosmos to fill in, this awkward space. We didn't end up actually mulching this until like mid-season. I think the Texas sages will fill in this area quite a bit. I do still like the idea of this, like run right here being sort of more of a meadowy wildflower area, as opposed to like woody shrubs. These black-eyed Susans, so these are the Rudbeckia Goldstrom. They have very similar, like same flowers as the black-eyed Susans in the backyard, but their foliage behaves more like the purple coneflower, which I prefer. They are about to bust. I'm excited to see how they look. I think they'll contrast really well with the Salvia Greggii patch. This is like 6 Salvia Greggii plants right here. Some of them are pink, some of them are red. That's okay. I like the variation. I like how they look with the mistflower. Lots of bluebonnets also kind of dispersed throughout them. The bluebonnets were awesome this year. And we are gonna have a shit ton of bluebonnets next year. They put out so many seeds. This thing, the honeybees, I think this is called blue curls or something. I think it was just in a, George put down like a random wildflower mix over here, and I think this came from it, but it always is covered in these honeybees, interestingly. Of course, the star of the show is the Jimson weed. This thing is a freaking beast. I mean, we planted this in the spring as a 2-inch pot, so it was tiny, and this thing is massive. It just blooms non-stop, day and night. It's gotten, I mean, it's freaking huge. It's probably like 10 feet across now, and I love it. I think it just has a beautiful form. The flowers are interesting, whether they're open or closed. The seed pods are crazy looking. Look, can you see those crazy seed pods? Really cool. I think it looks really cool with the Texas sage. Really good contrast between the big white flowers and the little purple ones. The skeleton leaf goldeneye is looking really good. I like how tidy they are. They're not like super prolific bloomers as much as like Zexminia, but I like them. I don't mind them. Rosemary is getting huge. This thing was unprotected in the freeze, got down to like 19 degrees for 2 days, and I mean, besides mulch, that is the Hill Hardy variety. That's what this arch looks like coming from the house. So the grasses, these two are big muley, and they look really cool. This one's starting to flower, which is cool. But I kind of like how they like frame, you know, you can't really see, but they sort of are on either side of the arch, along with the Mexican feathergrass, which I just love. I know it's invasive, or it's not invasive, but it's super aggressive. You know, all these hairs are seed heads, and I imagine we'll get a lot of volunteers of this Mexican feathergrass, but I don't mind. They're easy to pull. You know, the movement and the texture, they just look good all the time. They grow really fast. I'm not mad at them. These petunias, these are native Ruellia. It's an alternative to the Mexican petunias, which are invasive, really invasive. But these are a really cool native variety. These were volunteers, and I really like this plant. It stays low, it blooms a lot. It just likes it here. I think it looks good with the grass, and yeah, I really like what's going on here with like the contrast between the purples, right? The wine cup and the Ruellia, I think, look really good together. That's the persimmon tree. That one's doing well. Their flowers are really interesting. They're like green. They're entirely green, and then they obviously turn into these persimmons. But yeah, we've got 1 or 2 persimmons on there, and that's a cool tree. It took a long time to leaf out, which isn't ideal, but you know. Weeping yucca, I did those on this side, and then I try to contrast, you know, these are 2 color guards, I think, or no, bright edge. So those 2 look to be struggling a little bit. The growth looks weird, and kind of like twisted, but I don't know. I think they'll come through. The new growth is looking better, but I think that all yuccas kind of have issues transplanting, I think. This is another Buckley's yucca. I just kind of chose that on a whim. Again, that one had transplant issues, but the new growth is looking okay. I've heard that those are really hard to transplant. Rock rose, I just planted that. So we'll see how it does. I think it'll do just fine though. Loquat tree is looking good. That's the mulberry, which has just grown exponentially. I mean, it's freaking huge. No mulberries this year, but you know, we'll see. It's these This was George's choice. George kind of makes great choices. Like the Jimson weed was also his choice, and it's not something I would have picked, but like it looks awesome. And these just have done so well. These are the native Texas lantana. This is a Mexican bush sage. Oh my god, is that a freaking jumping spider? Oh, wait, that's so cool. Okay. I love jumping spiders. Look how curious he is. He jumped on. Did you see that? I don't know if I got that. Oh, I scared him. That's so cool. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so this I planted pretty late in the season too. That's a old Mexico. It's just flopped over. They seem to always do that. I don't know, they're cool, but they just flop and kind of look bad. And that's like another one that we got from somewhere, I don't know. From some, like around the neighborhood or something. The front yard turned out better than I would have ever expected, honestly. I did not want to do the front yard this year, but George just went ahead and did it. Put the mulch down, and it was like, okay, well, we're doing it. And I was really overwhelmed. You know, it's hard to pick the plants. And it does look kind of crazy, but I think it's really exciting. It's really lively and festive, and yeah, I just think it's so much more interesting than, you know, like a regular yard. So yeah, it's an ongoing experiment. But yeah, that's the front yard.